They haven't met since late June, week 1 of the season, when the Argos won 39-34. Now it's the first of a home-and-home between these two longtime CFL rivals.
And still under center for the Toronto Argonauts, Zach Collaros, 5-1 as a starter. He is the Offensive Player of the Month for September after leading the Argos to 4 consecutive victories on the road. And facing him for the Hamilton Tiger Cats, Henry Burris leads the Canadian Football League in passing yards, completions, and attempts, but has struggled over the last couple of weeks. 3 interceptions a week ago in a loss to Calgary.
And Hamilton head coach Ken Austin pulled Burris in the third quarter of that football game. His team has alternated wins and losses for the last 6 weeks of the CFL season. And for the Toronto Argonauts, a chance this weekend to clinch first place in the East Division. Scott Milanovich's team just became the first one in CFL history to play 4 consecutive games on the road and win them all. And it wasn't dull. They trailed in the fourth quarter in 3 of those 4 games. Hamilton won the coin toss, elects to receive and back deep. Making his CFL debut is Brandon Banks, number 87. 4-year man with Washington in the NFL. And the Ticats hoping he gives them a special teams boost as Swayze Waters kicks it off, and we're underway on Wendy's Friday Night Football. This is Banks from the 10-yard line. And Banks, finding out just how wide the CFL field is, gets pushed out of bounds at the 28-yard line by Jeff Johnson and Jalil Carter. On come Henry Burris in the offense. Starters to watch are brought to you by Napa Auto Parts, where custom advice comes standard.
Henry Burris struggling over the last couple games, despite collecting a win and a loss. No touchdown passes, 4 interceptions in his last 2 on that offensive line. Greg White shifts out from right guard to right tackle. And in the receiving core, Andy Fantus had his biggest game of the year. 10 catches, 155 yards against these Argonauts in week 1.
And on first down, the give goes to C.J. Gable, and Gable dives out close to the 35-yard line.
Defensively for the Toronto Argonauts, keep an eye on Marcus Ball, guy who's got a nose for the football. Big play last week, 57-yard interception return for a touchdown. Khalif Mitchell, 28 tackles this season, among the leaders for defensive tackles, interior defensive linemen. And Patrick Watkins, the ball hawk, 4 interceptions in his last 2 games.
2 last week, and a key sack in Edmonton. 2nd and 5. Burris from the shotgun steps up and throws, and the pass is complete right near the first down marker to another newcomer, Dobson Collins, who has previously played for BC and Edmonton. So with Collins and Banks in the lineup, Hamilton has used 85 players this season. This was last week at home against Calgary.
Well, struggles for Henry Burris. 3 interceptions against his former team ultimately led to him finding a spot on the sidelines. He looks to get things back on track here against the Argonauts. He posted over 360 passing yards against them in the season opener.
Ticats picked up the first down, and on the first down carry, C.J. Gable. Hamilton runs the ball less on first down than any other team. But just to finish the thought, Dwayne, the 85 players used by Hamilton, the most in a season in the last 30 years in the CFL.
Yeah, absolutely remarkable. But combination of injuries and a new coaching staff, basically trying to find the guys that fit their system, both offensively and defensively. It's been that revolving door, a little bit of experimentation as they try to find a lineup that works for them.
Hamilton has 19 players on IR right now. Gain of 4, it's 2nd and 6. Burris in the shotgun, looking over the top. He wants Collins. He's got it. Dobson Collins down to the 30-yard line. In behind Jalil Carter and the safety, Matt Black. And the gain of the play is 42 yards.
And Dobson Collins lines up out wide. He's going to bend this route in initially and then take it back out to the corner. What they're looking for from Dobson Collins essentially is somebody to provide something of a deep threat for them. With Sam Giguère out of the lineup, there's not a lot of speed in the Ticats receiving core. Collins replaces Dave Stella in that wide out spot.
And Burris has just passed Ron Lancaster for 4th place on the CFL's all-time passing yards list. Early movement there by left guard Pete Diakowski. So a couple of weeks ago, Burris became the 5th quarterback to go over 50,000 yards. Now he's passed Ron Lancaster into 4th place on the CFL's all-time list.
What a great career it's been for Henry Burris. Getting with the Calgary Stampeders, of course, a stint with the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Brief time in the National Football League. Later returned to Calgary, and of course now with Hamilton, even as recently as last year, posting one of the best seasons of his career.
The gain to Collins, by the way, was 34 yards, not 42.
Illegal procedure. Hamilton, number 67. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
You know, last week against Calgary, Dwayne, the Ticats really dominated the opening quarter of the football game. Drove the ball well. They missed a couple of early field goals. Then they started turning the ball over. And Calgary took immediate advantage, scoring 17 points on 3 turnovers.
Well, the elite teams in this league, when you look at Calgary, Toronto, BC, Saskatchewan's been there at times this year. You can't afford to miss opportunities.
Burris throws again, and the pass is caught by Luke Tasker, who made his Canadian Football League debut last week. The son of longtime former NFLer Steve Tasker. And he gets down to the 23-yard line and be just short of a Hamilton first down.
You see the official numbers. Henry Burris moving up one spot at that all-time passing yards list. Number 4. Just 3 Hall of Famers ahead of him.
Gain was 7 for Tasker. Brings up 2nd and 3 Hamilton. And now Burris throwing to the goal line to Tasker. He's got it. Touchdown! Luke Tasker with his first Canadian Football League touchdown. And the Ticats drive the ball impressively on their opening possession. The first opening touchdown allowed by the Argos since week 1 when the Ticats also did it.
Well, nice job here off the right side. C.J. Gable picks up a blitzing Marcus Ball. Seals off that backside. Burris delivers the strike. First of the career for Luke Tasker. Guy who had a great career at Cornell under Coach Ken Austin.
And now Brett Lothar on for the point after. And so the Ticats unable to take advantage of good field position last week. Get the first 7, a 7-play, 81-yard drive. Tasker with his first CFL touchdown catch for the new number 4 all-time.
Henry Burris maybe got the message by being pulled. If this first drive is any indication, a perfect 5 of 5, 77 yards through the air using a couple of the newest weapons in his arsenal. Luke Tasker with a couple of catches. Dobson Collins with a couple of catches as the Ticats march down the field and take a 7-0 lead.
So Luke Tasker knows the nomenclature of this offense. Played under Ken Austin and Tommy Condell at Cornell University, but now figuring out the CFL field very quickly. Trent Guy back to receive the kickoff. Chad Owens is dressed for the Argos tonight, but Guy expects to get most of the return work, especially on kickoffs. Takes this one at the 15-yard line. And Guy finds a seam out across the 40-yard line, gets a block. And Guy finally taken down by the kicker, Brett Lothar, at the 52-yard line. A 35-yard kickoff return, setting up Zach Collaros and the Toronto offense.
Well, Zach Collaros, 5-1 record as the starting quarterback for the Toronto Argonauts, including 4 straight on the road. You mentioned Chad Owens back on the roster. He's been out for the last 4 games. The Argos very happy to have their second leading receiver back in the lineup. And Chad Cackert returned with a bang last week. 13 carries, 155 yards on the ground. He also had 100 yards the last time these 2 teams met.
And Owens is out there with the offense right now. On first down, Collaros looking his way, got hit as he threw. Xander Robinson makes the catch. After Simone Lawrence unloaded on Zach Collaros to pick up close to 10 yards on the catch for the fullback, Xander Robinson.
Well, the weak side linebacker, Simone Lawrence, comes on the blitz. He starts off in that stack behind his defensive line. Quick delay, hits that B gap. Delivers a shot, but Collaros delivers. Quick shot to his fullback tight end, Xander Robinson, right near first down yardage.
By the way, the Argos lead the league with 5 touchdowns on opening possessions this year, but all 5 of those touchdown drives were engineered by Ricky Ray. Zach Collaros, a very different story. He has been poor to awful in the first half, especially the last 4 weeks, and then hot as a pistol in the second half.
Yeah, a nightmare for defenses to handle once he gets past that break. A young guy maybe needing to see the defense a little bit before he settles in. Get a little bit of feedback from his coaching staff and perhaps his veteran mentor as well.
He got some feedback at halftime last week in Edmonton. Coach Scott Milanovich said he was as hot as he's been in a long time. You see Ricky Ray dressed tonight. The 3rd quarterback for the Argos, not ready to come back just yet. They're just short of a first down. The short yardage team comes on for Toronto, and Collaros takes it straight ahead. So like the little girl with the curl, when Collaros has been good, he's been great, but when he's been bad, look out. And here are the first half numbers the last 4 games. 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 56%. Second half, 73%, 6 touchdowns, no picks.
Yeah, and I think you're key defensively to handling Zach Collaros. Try and get this kid out of the game in the first 30 minutes.
Mladenovic set up the win last week at Edmonton. I've got a headache. On first down, the give to Cackert, and Chad Cackert had a strong game last week on the ground. Inside the 40 down to the 39-yard line for a pickup of 6.
The carries have been somewhat difficult to come by for Chad Cackert this season. The running back not always a central part in the Toronto Argonauts offense. He has had a couple of opportunities when he's gotten the ball a little more. Obviously week 1 against the Tiger Cats, last week against the Edmonton Eskimos. He's one of those guys has the potential to break a big one, averaging 7 yards a carry at this point in the season.
Been out twice with injuries. The Argos were the worst running team in the league without him. Here comes the blitz, and Collaros under pressure is taken down as he is sacked by former Argo Brandon Isaac, who gets back into the starting D for the Ticats and has something to prove tonight after being cut by the Argos early in the season.
And Brandon Isaac said he wanted to get a chance to get a little bit of pressure on the quarterback in this one. Comes off that left edge, free man. Untouched, looked a lot like the scheme he played in Toronto.
Swayze Waters puts that way up in the air. Now, where did it go out is the question. If it's outside the 20-yard line, it'll be a penalty against the Argos. And the official marching towards the 20 to the 16-yard line, and that's where Henry Burris and the Ticats will go to work. Up 7-0 after scoring on their opening possession on Wendy's Friday Night Football. Wendy's Friday Night Football is brought to you by Late Night. Participating Wendy's open until midnight or later. Now that's better. And the same can be said of Henry Burris in the opening quarter of this football game after being yanked last week in really one of the worst performances in recent memory for him. 13 of 24, 3 interceptions lifted in the third quarter. Tonight 5 for 5 with a touchdown already. Ticats start from their 16. And flags are down as C.J. Gable has the first down carry out for the 21-yard line for a gain of 5. And it's offside, Toronto. Now, Mike Riley's status is uncertain for the Edmonton Eskimos this week. Henry Burris.
Offside. Toronto number 96. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Burris making his 32nd consecutive start tonight. If Riley doesn't start for Edmonton this week, he'll be the only quarterback to start every game for his team this season. He's 38 years old.
Yeah, absolutely remarkable. The durability is Henry Burris, the only quarterback to start every game for his team last season as well.
And he's been sacked more than any quarterback in the league by a lot. Second down carry goes to Gable. And he had Keontae Tripp all over him. We asked Henry Burris about how it felt to get yanked last week.
You never like to get pulled. I mean, of course, I hate it. I mean, I think that's one of the worst feelings ever. But with the way things were going, I mean, you know, at that point in time, you know, we weren't doing anything. I mean, we weren't moving the ball. We weren't getting any momentum going on our side. And we still had a chance to get back into the game. So, you know, him putting Dan in, I definitely understand.
Second and short now for the Ticats, and Burris throws. The pass is caught by Andy Fantuz at the 29-yard line. A first down for the Ticats, and Fantuz had a great game in week 1 against Toronto. 155 yards and a touchdown in that game.
And the Cats are just looking quick hitter all the way here. The offensive line goes with a cut protection to get the hands of the defensive line down. Burris knows he's getting rid of that ball on his third step. Good timing between he and the veteran receiver Fantuz, who, by the way, is going to see a lot of Patrick Watkins as they look to match up. The Argos look to match up their big DB on the Ticats' go-to receiver.
Early movement by the Argonauts could be a free play for the Ticats. Burris is under pressure. Another flag comes down. Burris really wants to go deep and finally throws up the field. It's caught by Fantuz. right at the 50-yard line. There's 2 flags down on the play. The first one's offside against Toronto, and the Argos indicated the second one's holding against the Ticats. And they're right. And Henry Burris lost some of his info.
Offside. Toronto number 97. Holding. Hamilton number 67. Back 5 yards.
So repeat first down. It'll be 1st and 15 as Brown went offside. But the holding call moves it back 5.
Ticats had a lot of juggling on that offensive line. Both their regular tackles, Brian Simmons, Joel Figueroa, out of the lineup this week with injury. Greg White sliding out to right tackle.
Here comes the blitz from Toronto. Burris under pressure, stepping up. Can't find anyone open, and finally tripped up by Khalif Mitchell. It was not an easy decision for Ken Austin to pull Burris last week, but he was hot when he did it.
Henry needs to be well prepared, and he needs to be a great decision maker, first and foremost. Decision making is the #1 quality a quarterback has to have, in my opinion. What we can't have is a quarterback that makes poor decisions. Right? That's something that I'm watching quite a bit. He's under immense scrutiny.
15 interceptions by Burris this year, lead the Canadian Football League. As you mentioned, also leading the league in passing yards. 2nd and long now. Burris with time, throws over the top, and he's got a man, Bakari Grant, into Argo territory at the 52-yard line. And the gain is 25, another Hamilton first down. And Burris is having all kinds of problems with that call sheet and the card falling out.
Yeah, it's flapping around on him, but he didn't have a problem throwing this football. Bakari Grant, it was a bit of a comeback. Safety Jermaine Gabriel trying to come over and help out, but the ball thrown where only Bakari Grant could get to it.
And now we'll get Dan Lefevre in for a while. We saw this last week that Lefevre would take a couple of plays in the first half of the football game, and either a play fake to Gable or a miscommunication, but Lefevre dives straight ahead and gets a gain of 6.
On a set package for Dan Lefevre, designed to take advantage of his mobility. As you mentioned, a lot of the plays based off either handoffs or run fakes to C.J. Gable.
Henry Burris is 7 for 7 in the game for 108 yards and a touchdown. And again, the Ticats are into Argo territory. So this is very much like last week. They drilled the ball very impressively against Calgary. Then the 3 quick interceptions, 17 points the other way. Burris throws, the pass is over the head of Andy Fantuz. Now we'll bring up 3rd down for the Ticats, and it will be a field goal try of about 53 yards. And so the punting unit comes on, Josh Bartel.
A missed opportunity there for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Appeared that it was just a throw from Burris that was off the mark.
And Chad Owens is back deep to receive after missing the last 4 games with injured ribs. And he stands back at his 5-yard line. Bartel, a low driving kick looking for the corner, and it bounces at the goal line. Owens will give up 1. Not what Bartel was looking for, but the Ticats added the lead, a 49-yard signal, and Zach Collaros and the Argos back to work when Wendy's Friday Night Football returns to Toronto right after
this. This is my Nissan Pathfinder. It's unmatched fuel economy for endless possibilities. This is capability and freedom. This is intuitive all-wheel drive and amazing power. It's an easy access 3rd row. It's safety and security. It's making unforgettable memories. These are my values. This is my Pathfinder.
This is the story of then and now. When it comes to paying the babysitter, then searches for money in her wallet and her purse. but now uses her CIBC mobile banking app to send the exact amount to the sitter. Quickly, securely. Bye-bye fumbling for cash. And that is why now is better than then. Sending money by phone, another way CIBC banking is more useful than ever.
A cup is for protecting your manhood in battle. Not drinking out of. When I drink to Cherrywood Furnishings and Cherry Red Bikinis, I'm drinking Canadian Club whiskey.
At Wendy's, we want you to like what you spend and love what you eat. So our everyday value menu features delicious choices no matter what your budget is. Dad believed in a great meal at a fair price, and it's what we still believe. That's Wendy's way.
The CFL on TSN is brought to you by Nissan. Innovation that excites. After the single point, Colares and the Argos go to work first down at their own 35-yard line. Argos lead the league in touchdowns scored and completion percentage. Only 6 interceptions thrown by Colares and Ricky Ray this season. None by Ray. And the play fake to Kackert up the receiver screen to Chad Owens. And Owens gets wrapped up immediately by Emmanuel Davis on this Hamilton defense.
Well, the Hamilton Tiger Cats defensively, of course, have Brandon Isaac, the former Argo, playing first game against his former team. He already has a sack tonight from the Sam linebacker spot. Brandon Boudreau leads the Tiger Cats with 4 sacks. Courtney Stephen, the free safety, part of the secondary with 5 starters tonight, as DBs have not accounted for a single interception this season.
Now the blitz on second down. Colares is under pressure. Wanted to throw the screen, but that was covered to Kackert, and now throws in the feet of Kackert as he got whacked at the end of the play by Brandon Isaac again. And Toronto will once again be forced to punt in this game following a script the Argos know all too well. A slow start in the first half.
Yeah, beware the second half when you're the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Brandon Isaac shows cover. Andre Dury comes in for that backside block. It frees up Isaac to blitz. He's looking to make a play in the backfield every chance he gets. Brandon Isaac, 4 sacks, 7 tackles for loss last season as a member of the Toronto Argonauts.
Brandon Banks back to receive the kick from Swayze Waters. A good high punt, chases Banks back to his 20-yard line. And Banks dances around but gets brought down quickly on the special teams play by Jonathan Hood. A 52-yard punt, a return of 3 for the Ticats with the football in a moment. Who's the guy in green? Yes, G. Simon goes back to Vancouver. The second half of our doubleheader on this Friday night has the Saskatchewan Roughriders and the BC Lions as G. Simon goes home. Meantime, in the first half of this home-and-home series, Henry Burrs and the Ticats have an 8-0 lead late in the opening quarter of the football at their own 23-yard line. And again from the shotgun and throwing on first down, the pass from Bakari Grant off his fingertips.
For one of the emerging stars in this Hamilton Tiger Cat offense, running back C.J. Gable arrived with a bag for most of his first game. Had 2 touchdowns already and a chance to catch the game winner, a wide open screen. Slipped through his fingers, leading to a Toronto Argonaut victory. Gable a different player now than he was in week 1, though. He's been terrific. Over 100 yards from scrimmage in 3 of his last 4 games.
Second and long now. Burrs pump fake, wants to go over the top, can't find anyone open again. Now is being chased by Cleon Lang, and Burris throws to the sideline. The pass is caught by Tasker, and they're going to say he's out of bounds.
Henry Burris lucky to get away with one there. Luke Tasker in tight coverage along that sideline.
That was almost intercepted by Alonzo Lawrence. And now the kick by Bartel. And Owens from the 38-yard line. And Owens gets spun around. A flag is down as he gets up to the 50. Let's join Matthew Shinetti.
Gord, as you mentioned, Ricky Ray is the third-string quarterback tonight, and this is all part of the ongoing recovery process that head coach Scott Milanovic is putting his star under. Yes, he is throwing, but Ray is on the sidelines tonight to get back into the routine, back into looking at his wristband, talking to the coaches. But Zach Collaros couldn't help having a little bit of a chuckle this week when Ray went to Scott Milanovic and said, "Coach, do you mind if I try out to be the third-string quarterback?"
Well, what have you done in your career? Oh, 3 Grey Cup rings? Oh, okay.
It's never mind what he's done in his career. I think the stats for this season:
78%, 15 touchdowns, no interceptions. Illegal block against the Argos moves them back to the 33-yard line. Andre Dury with the catch, breaks the first tackle, still going, and Dury still going. Breaks more tackles into Hamilton territory. Andre Dury down to the 36-yard line. And a gain of 40 yards. He earned every single one of them.
Well, and this play serves as a simple reminder defensively for why you always have to wrap up. Arthur Hobbs has a chance to take Andre Dury down right at the line of scrimmage, but he just goes for the strike without the wrap. Dury, with that tremendous balance, stays on his feet and turns it into a huge play for the Toronto Argonauts.
And Dury leads the league in yards gained after reception and just added 34 yards to his total there. First down now from the 36-yard line. Collaros throwing over the middle of the pass, incomplete, trying to find Dontrell Inman. He was well covered by Emmanuel Davis.
Dontrell Inman should get a few more looks over the course of this ball game. John Childs out of the lineup with a hand injury. Inman, who's been essentially filling Chad Owen's spot in the receiving corps over the last couple weeks, will shift to the outside a little bit more often tonight and will be counted on to provide a bit of a deep threat, as that's what role Childs has filled since being inserted in the lineup.
Second down from the Hamilton 36-yard line. Collaros under pressure, stepping up, trying to find someone, throws to the sidelines, and the pass is caught by Spencer Watt. And he is down to the 27-yard line. He'll be about a yard short of a Toronto first down. And the first quarter comes to a close with the Hamilton Ticats moving the ball impressively. An 8-0 lead through the first 15 minutes. We're back with the second after this. So the numbers through the opening 15 minutes, the Ticats with 135 total yards, and the Argos just 61. No turnovers so far in the game. There were no turnovers at all in the game when they met in week number 1 here in Toronto. Corey Miller back here with Dwayne Ford. We talked about the fact that over the last 6 weeks, the Ticats have alternated wins and losses. So I guess one way to look at it is good teams don't lose 2 in a row. They have bounced back from bad losses.
Well, you could say that, or you could say this is a team that's having a hard time finding consistency, managing to maintain momentum after wins. And I actually tend to opt for the latter with this football team. If they want to be a threat, if they want to be a challenge, and the bottom line is you got to win at least 2 in a row, more likely 3 in a row to get to the Grey Cup. These guys at this point haven't indicated that they can win more than 1 in a row.
Third and a yard and a half for the Argos, so they'll look to go with a Swayze Waters field goal try from 35 yards out. He had a tough week last week in Edmonton. 1 for 4, missed 2 short ones. And he puts this one through, and so the Argos have their first points on the opening play of the second quarter.
Swayze Waters with that one, perhaps rewarding his coach's faith in him. Asked Scott Milanovic this week if he had considered the possibility of making a change in that kicking slot. Swayze Waters last in the Canadian Football League in terms of his field goal accuracy percentage, but Milanovic says, in all honesty, we believe in Swayze. He feels that even the ones he's missed, he's hit the football well, and feels that he's going to come around and he's going to be all right.
He's also a very effective punter of the football, which makes a difference as well in terms of field position.
I think part of the challenge, I suppose, for the Toronto Argonauts, Swayze Waters, a well-liked guy on this football team, a team that's built with very good chemistry. You've got a lot of things going well for your football team, and maybe as long as you're winning football games, despite your kicker's struggles, you don't necessarily want to rock the boat by making a significant lineup change at this stage in the season.
So Brandon Banks is back deep to receive the kickoff along with C.J. Gable. Banks had a pretty good career as an undrafted free agent in Washington. One problem he had was hanging on to the football, which is why Washington ultimately let him go. But he was listed as the lightest player in the NFL at 175 pounds.
which may have been generous.
So all the kickers outweigh him even. And Waters hoofs this deep as Banks is under it at the 5-yard line. Gets by the first wave, stutter step, and Banks up the sidelines out of bounds. At about the 43-yard line, good field position again for the Ticat offense.
Well, C.J. Gable, we've seen a lot of first down carries from C.J. Gable in this football game, which isn't necessarily the typical game plan for this Tiger Cat squad.
And Ken Austin telling us before the football game that he thinks that Gable is the most complete back in the league in terms of running the football, catching it, and blocking, and compares him to a former Saskatchewan Rough Rider teammate, Mike Saunders.
Yeah, and I think that's very fair. As when you think about Mike Saunders and his career, he became a slot back later in his career. Gable's a guy who runs routes like a receiver.
And with the first down carry, fights his way just shy of the 50-yard line. Gable, the first true freshman ever start at tailback for the University of Southern California Trojans.
Well, that speaks volumes about the talent when you consider the list of Heisman Trophy winners to come out of the Trojan backfield.
4 carries for 18 yards so far tonight. By the way, Gable, one of the few Ticats who started that game against Toronto Week 1, who's back starting in Game 2. Of the 24 players who started for Hamilton in that football game, only 11 are starting tonight, and 7 are no longer with the team. Burris throws, the pass is caught by Bakari Grant, room to run inside Argo territory, and Grant thrown down at about the 50-yard line. Another Hamilton first down as the Ticats continue to move the ball impressively.
Bakari Grant on pace for his first career 1,000-yard season.
Even threw a pass last week against Calgary.
Guy who really stepped up in the absence of Andy Fantuz. Proved himself as a reliable go-to receiver. You see the numbers. He comes in close to 800 yards through his first 2 years. Combined had less than 1,000.
And shaken up on that play. On first down, 4-man rush for Toronto. Burris delivers, the pass is intercepted. Picked off by Ricardo Coakley, the former Hamilton Ticat. And a flag is down on the play. So Coakley the interception. What's the flag about? And this is where it came unraveled for Burris and the Ticats last week. An early interception in the second quarter.
After the change of possession, holding Toronto number 39, 10-yard penalty, first down.
So take 39 off the return, but give the football back to the Argonauts as the first turnover goes the way of Toronto. Last week, Calgary scored 17 points on Hamilton off turnovers.
Well, the key for Henry Burris after throwing 3 interceptions last week is to make sure he doesn't fall into a similar funk after this one. Tough to say whether he overthrew the short receiver, leaping on Ray Jones, or underthrew the deeper receiver, Luke Tasker. Regardless, it falls into the arms of a waiting Ricardo Coakley. Argo ball.
First down at their 43-yard line. Caleros with a deep drop going over the top. Has a man, Dontrell Inman, jump ball, and it is incomplete.
Very well defended on the play by the halfback, Arthur Hobbs, back into this Ticat lineup. Single receiver out to the offensive right. Inman's runs that corner back to the post. As the ball hangs up a little bit, allows an opportunity for Hobbs to recover.
So it brings up another 2nd and long for the Argonauts, who have been in that situation for much of the first half. Five-man rush. Caleros delivers, and that was almost intercepted. And he's jumping in front of that football was Hamilton's Brandon Isaac, who's having quite a first half in his first game against his former team. He did come up and shake hands with Scott Milanovic before the game, and they exchanged some pleasantries, but Isaac, very clear this week, he's got something to prove to the team that let him go.
Yeah, absolutely. And despite maybe some hard feelings at the time of his release and some of those being discussed this week, Brandon Isaac respects the Toronto Argonaut coaching staff, as he told me yesterday, but absolutely as a player, you always want to prove yourself, particularly to someone who says we're better without you.
So Waters on to kick, and Banks back to receive it. High snap for Waters, and he's in trouble trying to kick it. It's kind of a sidewinder away, and a good bounce taken by Lawrence at the Hamilton 45-yard line, and Lawrence still going up to midfield, and Simone Lawrence, pretty good improvising up to midfield, a 22-yard punt, a return of 10, and the Ticats will have great field position when we come back on Wendy's Friday Night Football.
Well, Swayze Waters, after a little bit of an adventure on the last punt, comes up limping on the Toronto Argonauts sideline. Looked like he wasn't quite ready for the snap, a little bit high, forced out of his regular rhythm. Brought down hard in midair by Neil King.
The Argonauts are a bit like a pool hustler, Wayne. They kind of spot you a few games up the stakes and then beat you. First down from midfield. Burris with time, throws to the far sidelines. Grant the catch. And a gain of about 5-yard line. But, as Scott Milanovic knows well, this is not a formula for winning football in November.
No, exactly. The Toronto Argonauts, it's hardly by design that they've been easing their way into these football games and having to rely on strong second halves.
Game was 5, it's 2nd and 5. And the second down carry goes to C.J. Gable, bounces off the first tackle, and gets away from Keontae Tripp and dives across the 45 for a Hamilton first down. A gain of 6.
C.J. Gable does a nice job of combining plays like this, which is just a pure physical effort kind of run, with the spectacular, which we've seen, the airborne helicopter and the like. And here just having a sense for where that first down marker is and doing whatever he's got to do to find it.
One concern for the Argonauts, they've allowed more yards per game than any defense in the league this year. And Hamilton moving it impressively. Now Burris slings that over the top of the pile and finds Dobson Collins. And Collins close to another first down at the Toronto 35.
Well, Collins, as you mentioned, the former BC Lion, Edmonton Eskimo. Guy who brings some speed to this receiving corps. The knock on him, the previous stops in his career have been that he hasn't caught the ball consistently, but getting a chance here in Hamilton.
3 for 49 so far in this game. On the practice roster all season for Hamilton. Now it's 2nd and a yard. And here is Gable. Dives back through the middle, runs right into the arms of Robert McCune to pick up a 4 yards, but another Hamilton first down.
A pretty good collision between Gable and McCune. At the end of that play, as you see some of the power from Gable.
An important game for Hamilton, Dwayne, against a good team. The Ticats are 3-7 against everyone but Winnipeg. They're 3-0 against the Bombers, 3-7 against everyone else.
And they've had opportunities to win games in tough places on the road. You look at the game in BC, the game in Calgary a couple of weeks ago. They've shown that they can compete with these teams, no question. They just haven't been able to finish.
Now Burris fires to Fantus. And it takes Pat Watkins for a ride, a gain of 7. Down to the Toronto 24-yard line.
And again, you think back to the days of Andy Fantus as a Saskatchewan Rough Rider and Chris Jones coordinating the Calgary Stampeder defense. Andy Fantus used to see a lot of Brandon Browner. That was the matchup that would be set up. But tonight for Fantus, facing Chris Jones' defense, to see a lot of the big cover guy in Patrick Watkins.
Last 2 games against the Argos, 264 yards receiving and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, and it was Jaleel Carter who had most of the coverage assignments on Fantus last time. The Argos looked to change it up.
2nd and short. Back to the ground to Gable. A first down and more. In across the 10. C.J. Gable, touchdown. And what a first half performance by the Hamilton Ticats in Toronto.
It's been largely the C.J. Gable show on the most recent drive. He starts off in that backfield beside Burris. Good zone to the front side. Nice vision by Gable with a little bit of a cutback to take it off the backside tackle before turning it up.
A 6-play, 55-yard drive after that punting mishap by Toronto. And the Ticats, who had trouble putting the ball in the end zone last week, no such problems this week as Lothar puts it through. And the Ticats extend their lead. C.J. Gable with a touchdown run. That's his 6th of the year. And the Ticats extend the advantage.
All we've ever asked, right? All we've ever asked you guys in this room to do is to give us your best. Just to give us your best for 60 minutes. Every day in practice and every time we line up and play a game. That's all we've asked you to do. If you have a competitive bone in your body, you better listen to me. If you have a competitive freaking bone in your body, you'll play tonight. Y'all got it? You understand what I'm saying? Let's go. I'm with. Let's go.
Good teams don't lose 2 in a row. Good teams also win more than 1 in a row, and that's been the Ticats' problem the last month and a half.
Well, the story of the last several seasons for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Perennial 500 finishers looking to break that trend.
Brett Guy takes the kickoff at the 15-yard line, looking for the corner. And forced back inside. The special teams tackle made by Eric Harris. So C.J. Gable with the touchdown run for the Ticats, who have moved the ball very impressively here in the first half, and most importantly, have taken care of it. A 15-3 advantage for the Ticats. Last week, the Argos fell behind 22-1 to Edmonton.
Yeah, and just a nice job by the offensive line, zoning everything to the left, getting a body on a body. C.J. Gable reads it nicely, finds a crack, explodes upfield. So far for him, 7 carries, 52 yards, and now a touchdown.
First down Argos from the 26. Collaros throws, and the pass incomplete for Jason Barnes. The ball wound up in the hands of Hamilton's Arthur Hobbs, but the pass is called incomplete.
Emmanuel Davis arriving at the same time as that football to knock it free from Jason Barnes. Barnes had 2 touchdowns in that season opening victory for the Argos over the Ticats.
Zach Collaros now 4 for 9 passing in the first half for 61 yards. Last week he was 8 of 19 for 86 yards in the first half. Collaros steps up and throws, and the pass is caught by Chad Owens, a first down, as Emmanuel Davis brings him down.
Chad Owens obviously critical to this Toronto Argonaut offense, the league's reigning most outstanding player. He and Andre Dury handle most of the short routes for this team, leaving the deep stuff to the likes of Childs, Jason Barnes, Dontrell Inman. But what they do in the short game makes up for a lack of run game at times for this team.
Collaros changing the play at the line of scrimmage. Now the toss to Chad Tackert. And Tackert slices through for a gain of about 7. Scott Milanovich said this week that one of the problems for Zach Collaros is the complicated terminology the Argos use and wordy terminology they use to call plays. So here's an example of a Toronto Argonaut play. Whip to weak, right stacks, arm motion, 760 W bingo, Y shallow, S burst. You played 12 years in the CFL. Please explain that.
Well, I think maybe the problem when he says it's a problem for Zach Collaros is just he's out of breath by the time the play actually starts.
On second and short, Collaros under pressure, and he will not get to the first down marker. And he's brought down after a gain of about 1 by Brandon Boudreau. Have you ever heard play terminology that long?
Well, you occasionally get one like that. You just hope that all of the play calls aren't that long, because obviously it complicates it for anybody, and you've only got 20 seconds in the huddle to get it out.
Well, whatever plays are being called, the Argos aren't executing them very well, and once again forced to punt. And Waters, a good kick to Banks back at the 16-yard line. And Marcus Ball tracks him down, makes a shoe top tackle, and limits the return to 9.
Well, Gord, one of the things that's helped the Toronto Argonauts turn the momentum within football games has been the play of their defense, and most recently, the play of Patrick Watkins. Last week, 2 interceptions. He had a late sack and forced fumble on a corner blitz. Game-changing type plays for this Toronto Argonaut team. On the road, he had 2 interceptions as well the week earlier against the Calgary Stampeders. The guy who's a late arrival to training camp. He said it took him a little while to feel comfortable again, but it seems like he's found his form.
And Burris throws, and wide open is C.J. Gable, who stumbles but dives across for the first down. Here's Matthew Giannetti with more on Watkins.
Dwayne, just to jump off your point, absolutely, he has found a groove again. But maybe that's after, as he admitted to me this week, he felt a bit lazy with all that respect to, quote, Watkins Island, because many teams weren't throwing to him earlier this year. He said after struggling against Montreal, where we all remember Deron Carter beating him deep again and again, Watkins refocused himself on his really, really detailed preparation, which is watching videos of other receivers religiously, and he credits that for his recent success. Guys?
First down, Ticats now from the 36-yard line. Burris with time, throws a rocket, and Argonauts Jones has got it into Toronto territory, down to the 46-yard line. A bullet from Burris, and a pickup of 28 yards.
Well, we often refer to Argonauts Jones as the forgotten man in this Hamilton Tiger Cat receiving corps, but one who's nonetheless very capable of making the big play when given the opportunity. First catch of the night, and he makes it a big one. Henry Burris finds him in a soft spot in that zone defense.
And there's a flag on the play.
Illegal substitution. Hamilton at 13 men in the formation. This is a 10-yard penalty. Still first down.
Owen Ken Austin boiling now.
Well, the issue being that once you start sending someone from the sidelines, someone's got to be coming the other way. You can't have 13 men in the huddle at the same time and run one out late. Basically, you got to give the defense the same opportunity to substitute for personnel packaging.
Now, Austin's got to call timeout, and he is blistering mad.
Timeout, Hamilton.
He burned hot as a player and spent a lot of his career trying to keep that under control. And so Hamilton calls timeout with 3.5 to go in the first half.
Well, Ketch is a guy who talks about controlling the things you can control, not worrying about the other stuff. One of those things you can control is your emotions. He's got to make sure he keeps that in check.
So after the 10-yard penalty and the timeout, the Ticats have the right people on the field. And a first down and 20. Burris throws, and slipping on the play with the intended receiver, Bakari Grant. It'll be second down.
It looked like on that same side of the field, he might have had C.J. Gable. It was an outlet on kind of a swing route. Had he gone to Gable, he would have had him isolated one-on-one in a little bit of space against Patrick Watkins. Gable's going to come out of that backfield motion out here. Watkins is going to be the only guy out wide. And he's dropped off a little bit rather than throwing a tough one into the teeth of the defense in the middle.
Second down to the sidelines to Grant. He dropped the football. It'll be third down, Hamilton. Getting into Grant's face in front of the Hamilton bench.
Well, one of the big plays in the game last week was Patrick Watkins with a corner blitz late in the game. Sacked Edmonton quarterback Kerry Joseph, forced a fumble. He tried to go back to that. Ticats did a nice job being prepared for it.
Bartel kicks that ball up an elevator shaft, and Owens had to go out of bounds. At the 14-yard line, we reached the 3-minute warning in Toronto with the Ticats leading the Argos 15-3. Nissan, this is our league, and today, happy birthday to the Toronto Argonauts, who are 140 years old today. The franchise founded by the Toronto Argonaut Rowing Club on October 4th, 1873, the oldest existing professional sports team, still using its original name. The adopted uniforms incorporating the 2 shades of blue used by Cambridge and Oxford universities, hence The double blue, the Argos played at Rosedale Field, Varsity Stadium, Exhibition Stadium, and moved here in '89. By the time they turn 150, they'll be in another new stadium. They've been given notice that natural grass is coming here, so they're going to have to find a new facility. And to a lot of people who love the football team, maybe not a bad thing.
I think that's a lot of the feeling. I'm a guy who grew up watching CFL games at Exhibition Stadium. Great outdoor environment.
Argos now from their 14-yard line give the ball to Cackert on first down. And Cackert wrapped up on a good open field tackle by safety Courtney Stephen.
Courtney Stephen, a second-round pick for the Toronto Argonauts last season, for the Hamilton Tiger Cats last season. Part of the great Brampton football pipeline.
Played at Northern Illinois.
Transferred there for his last couple of years after beginning his college career in the CIS. He's a star at Wilfrid Laurier.
Gain was 4 for Cackert at 2nd and 6. Doyle's throws the pass, badly intercepted. Picked off by Simone Lawrence, and Lawrence is down to the 1 as Joel Pell kept him out of the end zone. But the Ticats with a huge turnover with 2:18 to go in the first half. Lawrence's second interception of the year.
When you talk about a guy who's a potential difference maker in this Hamilton Tiger Cat defense, to me, Simone Lawrence is that guy. A nose for the football, tremendous athletic ability and range, as you see on that play. With an outstanding athletic play and effort, he's got his offense set up on the doorstep.
Spot him down to the 2-yard line. First and goal for the Ticats from there, and a chance to extend the lead here and put the Argos in another first half hole. Lefevre trying to dive ahead and got maybe a yard. So Hamilton in the red zone, but down at the 2. The Argos do have the best red zone defense in the Canadian Football League, but when you give a team first and goal from the 2, that's a tough test.
Well, here the Tiger Cats are trying to get the Toronto Argonauts off balance. You're going to see this entire offensive line for Hamilton shift. A planned shift where the right guard, Tim O'Neill, ends up becoming the center and snapping the ball. What they want to do is get the Argos defensive line moving. Everybody's going to line up in a certain gap. They've got a shift. Hamilton then tries to snap the ball quickly while the Argos are on the move.
Here they go again. Same play, and Lefevre in for the touchdown. The Hamilton shift. It worked. Touchdown Ticats. 21-3 with a point after to come. And Chris Jones' defense dealt a tough hand there.
Well, you'll see everybody moves by one full gap offensively. That O-line moves over one. The right guard, Tim O'Neill, becomes the center. Defense has to move and adjust to where they're lined up. And everybody's still getting settled with their assignments when the ball comes up.
And the point after is good. And the Hamilton Tiger Cats, with still slim hopes of catching Toronto for first place in the East Division, need to sweep this home-and-home series and get some help. But they're helping themselves right now. They're giving themselves a big boost of confidence.
They sure are. Defense, a defense that hasn't created a lot of takeaways this season.
Now, last in the league in interceptions.
Last overall with 18 takeaways. But Simone Lawrence comes up with a big one deep in Argo territory there.
Have you seen that shift before?
No, that's a new one. Doesn't surprise me to see it come from Kent Austin and Tommy Condell. A couple of very creative offensive minds in that Tiger Cat staff.
So Milanovic has got to dig into his file of fire and brimstone halftime speeches. They've worked for 4 weeks in a row on the road.
See if they travel well.
Preach to my chambers. Shout out to Mark.
A shout out for his good buddy, I believe former roommate with the Edmonton Eskimos last year, Shamad Chambers.
And here is Guy on the kickoff return from the 10-yard line. And the 35-yard line to the 36. Coming up at halftime, Dave Randorf at the panel with GMC Live at the half. Chris Schultz, Bill Stiegel, Paul Police will be talking about Henry Burris. Bounce back week for him so far this week. Moving into 4th place all time on the CFL passing yards list here tonight.
And Henry Burris, one of the many who's going to need to find some consistency down the stretch if this Hamilton Tiger Cat team is going to break their string of 500 seasons.
On first down, Collaros being chased and throws, and the pass almost intercepted again as Courtney Stephen dove for that one. Now, meantime, on the Toronto sideline, one of the backup quarterbacks is warming up. It's Ricky Ray. Now, Ray's been out since late August when he got hit by Charleston Hughes of Calgary and suffered that torn shoulder muscle. He was not expected to see any action tonight, but he's warming up now on the Argo sideline.
And this may just be a little bit of the protocol of getting back into the game day routine, making sure he's getting some throws on game day, kind of have a normal week.
Second down, Collaros flushed again and throws to the sideline. Inman with the catch and a first down to the 49-yard line, a gain of 12.
All sorts of time there for Zach Collaros. Hamilton not generating any pressure, dropping most of their guys into coverage, but eventually things are going to break down as Collaros gets out of the pocket a little bit, finds Dontrell Inman along that sideline.
And out of the 49, the clock won't start till the ball is snapped. And Collaros fires again to Inman, a first down into Hamilton territory. Inman got whacked hard at the end of that play by Jamal Johnson. A gain of 14 yards, another Toronto first down.
Well, Dontrell Inman shows signs of trying to finding his groove again. 3 touchdown catches in his last 4 games. Back-to-back receptions here from Zach Collaros.
And now Collaros fires the wide side of the field. Andre Dury bounces off a tackle and gets a first down as he hopped off Emmanuel Davis, and the yards after catch leader does it again.
Well, we saw it earlier with Arthur Hobbs, now with Emmanuel Davis. When you come up to tackle Andre Dury, you better wrap him up. Dury's a guy who, on average, most of his receptions come within 3 yards of the line of scrimmage. So you know he's doing a pretty good job of making people miss.
When he catches, he's a receiver, and then he's a running back. Now you're facing a running back in the open field. Collaros spins and hands off to Cackert, and Chad Cackert with a gain of maybe 3. Torrey Davis there on the tackle. So under a minute to go now in the first half, and the clock continuing to run as the Argos drive into Hamilton territory.
I'll see if Zach Collaros can start some of his usual second half heroics a little bit early here tonight.
And the Argos in no hurry to call the play here. On second and long, Collaros is flush, pointing to the end zone, throws to the goal line to Spencer Watt, tipped up and incomplete. Bring up third down for Toronto, and the field goal unit will come on for the Argos.
Collaros looking to make something happen on the run here. Emmanuel Davis again in coverage right near the goal line. Gets that left hand in just as the ball arrives.
So Waters will try one from 39 yards out. He has accounted for the only points the Argos have here in the first half. And puts it through. He's been the bright spot in the first half for Toronto. The Argos now trailing 22-6.
Waters 2 for 2 to get his field goal percentage for the year back up over 50%.
So last week, Toronto was down 22-1 to Edmonton. We mentioned that 4-game road winning streak. Toronto trailed in the fourth quarter in 3 of the 4 games. They trailed in the second half in all 4 of the games.
their second half heroics certainly something that Kent Austin will be reminding his team of during the break. Can't let up on these guys. As the saying goes here in the CFL, no lead is safe, particularly against 2013 Toronto Argonauts.
So how many times can you go to the well? Every time so far for Toronto. But a very impressive first half performance by the Hamilton Ticats. And you knew that Toronto would get Hamilton's best after the Ticats spent a week getting verbally flogged. And now Banks on the kickoff return. He's got room to run. Up the sideline he goes, and Banks on a 41-yard return gets out of bounds at the 49. So a little taste of what the Argos have done in that 4-game winning streak at the half, down by double digits twice, and last week in Edmonton down 22-1 in the fourth quarter. 23 points in the fourth last week.
And as we said earlier, it's not exactly by the book, but all that really matters to the Toronto Argonauts in the end is those 4 consecutive W's.
Back after the ball at their 51-yard line, give it off to Gable. And Gable gets wrapped up right away by Ivan Brown. It's a gain of maybe 1. That guy trying to even their record of 7-7 on the year. Toronto 9-4 in the season. We mentioned a win tonight and a Montreal loss tomorrow would clinch first place in the East Division for the Argos. Although last year, both teams that had home field advantage in their division finals lost.
Well, with that bye week, there are no guarantees.
But as teams that get it will tell you, teams that finish first are undefeated in the bye week. Hamilton trying to stop Toronto's march, and Ken Austin's team had a very impressive opening 30 minutes. 22-6 for the Ticats. The Hamilton Ticats lead the Toronto Argonauts after one half of play, and the Argo defense trying to hold its own in the second half. Marcus Ball with our Matthew Chinetti.
Marcus, did you see anything unexpectedly in that first half for the Ticats?
Nothing that surprised us. We're surprising ourselves with all the stupid stuff and the small penalties.
So what are the adjustments that Coach Jones told you guys have to make to unsettle them in the second half?
Well, we just have to get back to playing Argo football. We have to take out the middle mistakes and get back to playing the basic X's and O's, and we're ready to go.
Thanks, Marcus.
Toronto won the first meeting 39-34 in a wild one here in Toronto in week 1. Ricky Ray and Henry Burris both had tremendous performances. Neither team turned the ball over in that football game. And actually, Hamilton was driving for a go-ahead touchdown. C.J. Gable dropped that screen pass that likely would have put Hamilton ahead.
The Argos will have a ways to go to make this one as close as that one, but as we said throughout and as we heard the boys debate at halftime, this has been the Argos' road to victory, particularly with Zach Collaros at quarterback. Strong second half play.
Curtis Steele takes the second half kickoff and goes out of bounds at the 29-yard line. A return of 17 yards. So Collaros and the offense will come in, and we'll see if he can continue his second half magic. His numbers very similar to last week in Edmonton.
Yeah, 8 of 16, 113 yards and an interception in that first half for Collaros. Chad Cackert kept largely in check, held to 21 yards on 4 carries. Andre Dury, the leading receiver for the Argos, 2 catches, 52 yards, and a couple of broken tackles along the way.
Play fake to Cackert. Collaros throws to Dontrell Inman, and he is wrapped up by Evan McCullough. Former Toronto Argonaut, won the Grey Cup with them last year. And the loss is a yard.
Again, we see Brandon Isaac in the Toronto Argonaut backfield, affecting Zach Collaros. He's going to come from depth and time this up, pressuring the quarterback into a hurried throw. Well-defended play from the Ticats. The pressure being the key.
Second and long again. Here comes the rush. Collaros belted, throws. Inman belted, makes the catch. And as a first down up to the 45-yard line, a gain of 18 yards. Evan McCullough took the worst of that collision, and Collaros hung in there to throw that football.
Well, Brandon Isaac for the second straight play comes unblocked on the blitz. He's going to come from that top left corner of your screen. There's a pretty good shot on Collaros as he throws that football, but the kid hangs in, delivers a strike.
Down to the ground to Chad Cackert. And Cackert, with a quiet first half, busts into the Hamilton defensive backfield up to midfield and close to another Hamilton or Toronto first down. And maybe just got it by the length of the football.
Well, Chad Cackert came into this ball game leading regular running backs in the Canadian Football League with 7 yards per carry.
Missed 7 games due to injury. Had the knee, then came back in Saskatchewan and got hit in the head by Tyron Brackenridge. Missed another game with a concussion. Here's a first down for the Toronto Argonauts right at midfield. Play fake, they swing it up to Dury. Andre Dury gets a block up the field from Inman. And Dury another first down to the Hamilton 40-yard line. A pick up of 14 yards. What a block up the field by Inman.
Yeah, this is a typical Toronto Argonaut to Andre Dury kind of play. Dury in motion just to the right of that goalpost. You see the quick hitter, nice cut block by Inman right in front of him. Takes his man to the ground and opens up that running lane.
First down, Toronto from the Hamilton 40-yard line. Play fake to Cackert, swinging up to Dury. Being tracked there by Brandon Isaac, and he steps out of bounds inside the 30-yard line for a gain of 12. And again, Toronto moves the sticks.
Yeah, Gord, these Toronto Argonauts seem to have found their second half mojo.
It's unbelievable, Dwayne, that a team could be so much different within a game so consistently.
Well, and you see Hamilton still getting the men free to them on the blitz. But Collaros is managing to get the ball out of there, finding his open receivers. You see a couple of quick hitters to Andre Dury, which is bread and butter stuff for the Toronto Argonauts, but just executing so much more sharply here to open the second half.
First down for the 29-yard line. Fake to Cackert again, and now Collaros trying to step up. He's got some room to run. Being tracked from behind. Collaros, great move inside the 10. And down to the 9-yard line. Finally brought down by Emmanuel Davis, a gain of 20.
That's one. Brandon Isaac came free on the blitz again. He's going to come from the left side of your screen. Xander Robinson picks him up and probably got away with a hold on that one. Let's bring Zach Collaros for the run. Scott Milanovich has talked this week about the fact that it's taken him a little while to realize Zach Collaros is a pocket quarterback.
Right.
His athletic ability, his mobility, that stuff's a bonus, but spent a lot of time early on in Collaros' starting stint here trying to get him outside of the pocket to throw and get him on the move and so on. They've realized, Collaros says he went through the same thing in college, that sometimes people get caught up in the fact that he's an athlete and want to move him around, where the fact is he's most comfortable in the pocket.
Wayne Smith is the injured Toronto Argonaut. The 33-year-old veteran has had 2 stints with the Hamilton Ticats in his career. So what has Scott Milanovich learned about Zach Collaros in this month and a half with him as a starter?
I think the biggest thing I've learned about Zach is that he is a pocket passer. I think we felt like we had to move him a lot and force him to get out of the pocket, and really what we've learned is he's a pocket passer, and those instinctive plays that he makes is when he has to scramble, that we don't have to manufacture those things for him. So we're still learning him and what makes him tick and how we can get him better.
Well, so far they've done a pretty good job of figuring out what makes him tick and putting him in positions to succeed. #1 job. of a coach at any level. Put your players in a position to succeed. You've got a backup quarterback, a guy in his second year right out of college, who's come in and gone 5-1 as a starter.
Milanovic said he blamed himself for some of the struggles last week, that maybe they expanded the play package too much for him, put too much in. They've narrowed it back down this week to keep it simpler. First and goal from the 9. Here comes the rush. Claro stepping up, and he's wrapped up at the 5-yard line as Torrey Davis got his mitts on him. It's a gain of 4.
Claros looked like he may have had a shot to Andre Dury out in the right flat. Wasn't necessarily comfortable with the angles of that throw. Again, those instincts that Scott Milanovic talked about took over on the play. Dury's just going to shoot out to the flat quickly, and as things open up, an opportunity there for the Tiger Cat Argo quarterback up the middle.
Second and goal from the 5. Fake the tackle, throw it wide to Chad Owens. Owens shakes and bakes and got tripped up by Emmanuel Davis to the 1-yard line. It'll be third and goal for the Argos from there. So Milanovic will send his short yardage team on. The Argos this season are 8-0 on third and a yard or less.
Well, Emmanuel Davis did a nice job getting outside leverage here, making sure that Chad Owens couldn't run to that corner. Forces him to turn back inside where he's got support coming from the rest of that defense.
They've set the field goal unit on now. At one point, the offense stayed on. Now, late, the Argos have sent the field goal unit out. And the fans here don't like that. And you saw Orlando Steinauer on the Hamilton sideline say, watch for the fake.
Well, a similar situation a couple weeks ago in Moncton. The Tiger Cats ran a fake field goal against the Montreal Alouettes for a touchdown.
It's actually closer than a convert. So the Argos get 3 on the drive and now trail 22-9 on Wendy's Friday Night Football. All right. Zach Talley brought to you by Purelator. Tackle hunger across Canada. Check. And Toronto and Hamilton are last and second last in the league in quarterback sacks. But of note, the Ticats allow the most sacks and have not allowed one tonight. They've given up at least 2 in every game this season, an average of 4 per contest.
The Ticats offensive line doing a nice job, and give a lot of credit to that guy, C.J. Gable, one of the keys to their protection scheme.
Waters sends it deep to Brandon Banks inside his 5-yard line. And Banks gets thrown back hard by that wave of Toronto Argonauts. And up to make the special teams tackle was Matt Black. So it is Purelator Fight Hunger tonight as fans were encouraged to bring non-perishable food. Downtown Toronto got a chance to pose with the Grey Cup.
Because you're going to be on TV, maybe. Thanks so much.
Yes, you are going to be on TV, as a matter of fact. And isn't it nice? A multi-denominational service, Hamilton and Toronto fans bringing food and donating money. Don't you love it when rivals get
along for charity?
Yeah, and then fight in the parking lot after the game. Burris and the Ticats start from their 21-yard line. And the toss goes to Gable. He is wrapped up right away by Ricardo Coakley, the former Hamilton Ticat, who, like Isaac, Brandon Isaac was looking forward to this contest. So the Ticat numbers after the opening 30 minutes.
Yeah, Henry Burris, an impressive 13 for 19, 179 yards in that first half. Touchdown pass, 1 interception that got away from him. C.J. Gable, 10 touches, 66 yards from scrimmage for him, and a touchdown run. Bakari Grant, the leading receiver for Hamilton, 3 catches, 41 yards through the first 30 minutes.
Loss was 3 and 2nd and 13, and down goes Burris. There's the first sack for the Argos. It'll go to Shane Horton, who's got 5 now on the year. Got some help from David Lee.
The 2 defensive ends in Chris Jones' scheme arriving simultaneously. Horton, number 27, in the middle of your picture. David Lee's coming off the other edge. Horton on the loop.
And now from the end zone, the punt is blocked. Picked up by the Argos, ball, touchdown. Steele with the block, ball the recovery. Now they're going to mark him down right at the goal line. This play may be reviewed. They're going to spot the ball at the 1 and say ball got close to but not into the end zone. So a block punt by Curtis Steele. The Ticats had a similar play with interception late in the first half. Now Toronto looking to climb closer here in the second.
Curtis Steele comes up with the block. He's on the outside. He's going to loop inside on Eric Harris. Leaves Harris grasping for air. Steele comes up with that big block. You see why Eric Harris is the man scrambling to make that tackle.
Scott Milanovich is having a long conversation with referee Andre Pro. He's got the challenge flag in his hand, but elects not to throw it.
Debating whether Marcus Ball got into the end zone when he recovered that football.
So first and goal, Toronto from the 1. And Claros dives to the goal line and in. Touchdown, Toronto. And some pushing and shoving breaking up the end of that play. Jamal Johnson in on it. So the block kick gives the Argos a yard to go, and suddenly now they're right back in it.
You're going to have some people asking the question, in that territory, why not give up the safety? Instead of punt out of your own end zone, you're at a big risk. Aside from the usual argument of field position, the Toronto Argonauts just made them pay huge.
And now Waters for the point after to draw Toronto within 6. So fans might not like that decision by Milanovich to kick the field goal on 3rd in the yard. But all of a sudden they're within 6 points. And tempers flare between these two longtime rivals. Zach Collaros with a 1-yard touchdown run on a play set up by a roster decision?
Absolutely. Scott Milanovich looks like a genius right now. I asked him the other day about the health of Jarius Norwood, who had played very well at running back in Calgary for the Toronto Argonauts. Norwood got banged up in the ensuing week of practice, but healthy enough to play. Curtis Steele stays on the roster as the backup import running back because they feel he's a better special teams player. And how smart does that decision look right now?
Waters boots it deep to Banks at the 10-yard line. And Banks, Steele went diving for him. He was out of bounds at the 22-yard line. So the Ticats will take over there. So Ken Austin will be asked, I suppose, after the game about the decision not to give up the safety and try kicking it away. But now, once again, Toronto's made this a game in the second half after being badly outplayed in the first.
Yeah, and, you know, on that safety decision, I know Hamilton at times has been very fortunate to have Josh Bartel, who's been able to kick them out of trouble, so to speak, in terms of that field position situation. A team that hasn't been as likely as some to take safeties. But you see, aside from the field position, the other risk of punting from deep in your own end.
Burris has lots of time. Was looking up the field. Now the pocket closes in. Gets away from the first wave. Gets away from Ball. It goes out of bounds at the 29-yard line. Marker is a gain of 6 as Burris makes something out of nothing.
Yeah, it looked like he was in a world of trouble. Good protection to start things off. Burris has all kinds of time, but can't find an open receiver as he decides to scramble. Blue jerseys surround him. He manages to elude a couple of tackles and turn it into a positive play.
Now 2nd and 4 Ticats with the clock running here in the third quarter. And to give to C.J. Gable, and Gable driven back by McCune. And they'll mark him down at the 32-yard line. He'll be a yard short of a Hamilton first down. And the Ticats will send on the punting unit.
Robert McCune did a nice job mirroring the running back. He's basically going to mirror the movement of the running back as Gable is sifting from gap to gap, trying to find a hole. McCune's doing the same from the other side. As Gable attacks the line of scrimmage, so too does the Argo middle linebacker.
And as the Argonauts gain momentum, Hamilton goes 2 and out.
It relates to the way things have gone for the Hamilton Tiger Cats in the season. We talked about the importance of maintaining momentum and finishing people within games and so on. That's been the ongoing struggle for this team.
Now it's 3rd and less than a yard. And looks as though Austin's changing his mind as he sends on Lefevre and the short yardage offense. So a gamble now by Hamilton, 3rd and a yard for the Ticats from their 32-yard line. And Dan Lefevre comes in.
Well, this gives you an indication of how important Ken Austin feels it is to keep his defense off the field and try and prevent the Argos from continuing to build that wave of momentum.
Lefevre dives ahead. This is going to be close. And Jones is right on the line of scrimmage and didn't like the spot. So the drive will continue. The last thing Hamilton wanted there was a 3 and out.
And you see that blue wave moving forward. The Argos got a pretty good surge.
Look at Jones in the background pumping his fist. And he saw the spot. There's winning and there's misery. Second down, Burris, lots of time, and then throws that over the head of Brandon Banks. So Banks getting some spot work in the offense. Ken Austin saying he didn't expect Banks to be a major part of the Ticat offense this week. He's 5'7", by the way. And they've got him listed at 153 pounds. He was listed at 175 when he played for Washington in the NFL.
And those are dimensions that may remind some fans in Steeltown of one Chris Williams.
Yeah.
Diminutive receiver, return man. Just joined the New Orleans Saints after reaching an agreement with the Tiger Cats.
Looks like Gable's offside. The flag does come down. Burris throws. And the pass is complete to Tasker, who gets up to the 40-yard line, but we'll see what the flag's about.
Illegal contact on the receiver. Toronto number 25, 10-yard penalty. First down.
So Watkins takes a 10-yard penalty for contact, and he's hot about that. It'll be first down, Hamilton.
Pat Watkins is again matched up with Andy Fantuz. He's going to follow him to the inside in motion.
Gable was 2 yards offside there.
Look more like the issue may have involved Alonzo Lawrence and Luke Tasker.
On first down, Burris with a shotgun gets it away, and the pass is dropped by Fantuz, who then gets dropped by a frustrated Pat Watkins.
Well, Watkins is doing a pretty good job keeping Andy Fantuz out of this Hamilton Tiger Cat offense, taking advantage of the long arms.
Fantuz with 2 catches in the game tonight.
Using those long arms to get good jams. A lot of collisions between those two as Fantuz tries to gain his release.
The CFL leader with 5 interceptions so far this season. Second and long now for the Ticats from their own 44-yard line. And here comes the blitz. Burris gets the ball away. It's caught. But Dobson Collins got cut from underneath. And the Ticats will be well short of a first down.
This play comes off looking almost like the world's shortest Hail Mary as Henry Burris floated it. Pat Watkins came on that corner blitz again.
Jermaine Gabriel with a tackle. And now Bartel gets a good kick away, chases Owens back to his 10-yard line. Chad Owens back in the Toronto lineup, and he gets out to the 20, and that's where the Argos will scrimmage. Pulling closer, down by 6. And the defense coming up big. At the start of the season, the Toronto Argonauts made Brandon Isaac one of their team captains, and a couple weeks later released him. Here's Matthew Chinetti with more.
Yeah, Gordon, the Argos still aren't being specific as to why they released him, but the linebacker has his own ideas. He thinks he might have overestimated his relationship with defensive coordinator Chris Jones. In particular, the player thinks the coach didn't really appreciate it when he called out some of his coaching strategies in the locker room. Isaac said it was all part of the business, but he said at the time of his release, he felt betrayed. Guys?
There's a big defensive play by Emmanuel Davis with the tackle on Chad Owens and a loss of 3.
Emmanuel Davis having a busy night. That wide side corner. Those bubble screens, a big part of the Toronto offense. Again, we mentioned Owens and Dury as guys who are always catching the ball close to the line of scrimmage. Key for the corners to come up and make plays.
Now 2nd and 13, Toronto. 3:45 to go in the third quarter. Caleros has time and delivers. Dontrell Inman up to the 33-yard line. And good for a Toronto first down on a gain of 16 yards.
Caleros looks like he's calling for a no-huddle offense here as the Argonauts try to maintain their rhythm. Well, they are going to huddle here.
22-16, the Ticats lead. It was all Hamilton in the first half, and Toronto trying one of its patented second-half surges to give to Cackert on first down. Forced outside and fights his way up to the 35-yard line as Torrey Davis was there to make the stop on Cackert. 13 carries, 155 yards against Edmonton last week. The last 2 games against the Ticats, 284 yards rushing and 4 touchdowns. Cackert 6 for 34 tonight. Game was 2. It's 2nd and 8 Toronto. Throws the pass caught by Jason Barnes, and Barnes off and running across midfield into Hamilton territory to the 54-yard line. A gain of 22, and the catch for Barnes, his first of the night.
A nice change up there in terms of the play call for the Toronto Argonauts. Taking Jason Barnes, who's usually more of a vertical receiver for them, having him be the guy involved in that hitch screen. Nice job blocking by the other receivers. Create a lane. Nice pick up there for the double blue.
Thrown down hard as he ran headlong into Brandon Boudreau. Ouch.
Brandon Boudreau hit him like a brick wall on that one.
A moving brick wall. And Cackert gets back to his feet and makes sure everything's where it's supposed to be.
Yeah, Boudreau comes from the right side of your screen, number 91, beats Andre Dury to the inside. Scores the takedown.
Here comes the Ticat blitz. Caleros under pressure, and he is down. Wrapped up by Brandon Isaac, who was the first man there on the sack, and Isaac is making a pretty good point tonight.
Well, he is given an opportunity, particularly as a blitzing linebacker. He's going to come again. Top left corner from his Sam linebacker position. This looks like a lot like what we saw a lot from him as a Toronto Argonaut last season.
So he had 2 sacks on the season coming in. He's got 2 tonight. And they'll force the Argos to punt. Waters flutters that to Banks at the 15-yard line. And Banks dives out of bounds at the 23.
Well, we won't know for sure until the end of this ball game and look at the scoreboard, but thus far it's looking like a pretty triumphant return to Toronto for Brandon Isaac. He's made regular appearances in that Toronto Argonaut backfield, a few hits, couple sacks on Toronto quarterback Zach Caleros. Giving a reminder of just what he does best.
Still to come tonight, the second half of our doubleheader. The Saskatchewan Roughriders visit BC Lions. Leroy Simon back in Vancouver. The Riders trying to get things back on the rails. Now here's Gable in the first down carry. And Watkins got a long arm on him, and there's a flag down at the end of the play.
Major foul. Face mask. Toronto number 91. 15-yard penalty enforced from the end of the play. Automatic first down.
So David Lee is called for the face mask and tack on 15 yards to move the Ticats to the Hamilton 42. From the shotgun on first down, fires, and the pass is caught by Dobson Collins, and they'll say no, he didn't hang on as he got pushed out of bounds. They bring up 2nd and 10.
Well, Jaleel Carter delivered the hit as Collins tried to secure the ball, but the officials ruling he was still juggling this one as he went out, didn't have control of it.
Could be the final play of the third quarter, then we'd see if the Toronto Argonauts can unleash the fury again in the fourth. Ticats up by 6. 2nd down now at their own 42-yard line. Full-on rush, and Burris gets it away, and the pass is caught by Fantuz. And Fantuz wrestling with Pat Watkins as he crosses the 50-yard line, and a flag comes down at the end of the play. A gain of 18 yards for the Ticats.
The battle rages on between these two.
And referee Andre Prue is over talking to Kent Austin. And is that the penalty right there?
Whether it's the face mask on Fantuz or possible horse collar tackle, maybe the call against Watkins.
Here's the call.
Major foul, face mask, Toronto number 25. A 15-yard penalty will be enforced to open the fourth quarter. First down.
They got Watkins for the face mask. Tack on another 15. And the Ticats are on the march. The fourth quarter to come in Toronto. This is Wendy's Friday Night Football. Let's go! Except for the start of the fourth quarter in Toronto, the numbers evening out, and turnovers, 2 by the Ticats, 1 by the Argonauts, and now 3 quarterback sacks by Hamilton are a major factor here, but 2 penalties on this drive for face masking called against the Toronto Argonauts, Dwayne. On that last play, you could argue there should have been 2 face masking penalties, 1 either way.
Yeah, and obviously offensive guys get a little bit more leeway when they're going for that straight arm, but Andy Fantuz delivered a pretty good shot that actually turns Pat Watkins' helmet. Watkins is kind of going blind on the play. He ends up grabbing the face mask of Andy Fantuz and pulling him down. A legit call, obviously, on Watkins. Andy Fantuz might have gotten away with one there.
So move the Ticats down to the Toronto 35-yard line. First down as we open the fourth quarter. The play clock. Play fake to Gable. Has some time. Looks over the top. Has a man wide open. Incomplete for Dobson Collins, who was in behind Alonzo Lawrence and Matt Black.
Another creative play call from the Hamilton Tiger Cats. They had that fake hitch screen to the right side. And usually when you get the fake hitch, you're trying to throw a deep route on the same side using a guy who would normally be a blocker. In this case, Luke Tasker at the top of your screen. But here, they've got the deep option to come back to the other side to Dobson Collins, who is wide open in the end zone. But Henry Burris just overthrew him.
2nd and 10 now for the Ticats. Argos rush 4. It's a screen pass, and it's dropped by Gable. 3rd down now for Hamilton. And the play spotted at the 34-yard line, so a 41-yard field goal try coming up for the Ticats.
Well, not quite deja vu for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. A much tougher catch. That one would have been for C.J. Gable than the drop screen in week 1. And Argonauts in better position to defend as well.
The attempt will come from closer to the 42-yard line. Lothar went 1 for 3 last week after 4 for 4 in his debut the week before. Lothar misses to the right. Owens having a look, and Chad Owens will take a knee, gets hit at the end of it. Now a flag comes down way behind the play. Lothar got knocked down. There's no flag in the end zone. Now remember, it was 3rd and 10. Lothar got belted way in behind the play. So 2 face masking calls against the Argos in this drive is another penalty going their way.
Unnecessary roughness. Toronto number 6. A 15-yard penalty is applied from the end of the play. First down at the 20 for Toronto.
So ball hits Lothar. The Argos will have possession at their own 20 when we come back.
Brett Lothar meet Marcus Ball. Not the most polite of introductions from the Argo linebacker. Brett Lothar slowly started making his way downfield to cover his missed field goal. And Marcus Ball absolutely dusted him. A 15-yard flag for unnecessary roughness.
Moves the Argos back to their 20-yard line, 1st and 10. And Collaros throws incomplete for Jason Barnes. Collaros in the 4th quarter of his last 4 games, 33 of 38, 372 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions.
Pretty
unbelievable.
Impressive. Well, if he could piece together a whole game of 4 fourth quarters, he'd be all set. Slow starter, but just lights out at crunch time.
But the Ticats so far tonight have done a pretty good job limiting him in the second half. Second down, here comes the rush. Collaros under pressure, throws, and it's caught by Barnes. First down to the 35-yard line. Pick up of 15 yards.
And this is Zach Collaros at his best. Mention a guy who's very comfortable as a pocket passer, but creates on the move here. He's got Eric Norwood bearing down. He knows the pressure's there, and he's got to get rid of it. He gets it on the money to Jason Barnes.
First down, Toronto at the 35-yard line. The first down carry by Chad Tackett. Tackett with room to run. And he gets cut down nicely on a defensive play by Rico Murray. Here again, Matthew Shinetti.
Guys, talking about Zach Collaros in the 4th quarter, I pulled aside Dontrell Inman this week, and I asked him exactly what are the ingredients to success. He said, Collaros operates almost in the opposite way you'd expect a young quarterback to. There's patience, there's time, and there's determination. Then Inman told me, listen, wherever I am on the field, I know I can get the ball. I know he can give me the ball whenever I need it. And then I asked Inman who he likes better under center, Collaros or Ricky Ray. He smiled and he ran off. And with that, at the moment, starting safety Matt Black is getting his left leg worked on the Argos sidelines, guys.
Collaros up the field for Barnes again, pushed out of bounds by Courtney Steele. And the gain is 26 yards.
Well, Jason Barnes had one of his best games of the season in week 1 against the Hamilton Tiger Cats. 4 catches for 85 yards, a couple touchdowns. It looks like he's channeling that right now. Late crossing route, Collaros finds him in a little window.
Barnes 3 catches for 63 yards tonight. First down, Toronto into Hamilton territory at the 43-yard line. Back to Tackett on first down, tripped up neatly by Brandon Boudreau. Got an arm on him to limit the game. Simone Lawrence also in there on the tackle.
Well, Tackett hasn't been able to break a big one yet in this ball game. He had the long run last week that kind of broke things open, turned the tide. Longest run tonight, 10 yards.
Key play now for the Hamilton defense on 2nd and 8. Collaros has time, can't find anyone open. Now on the run, being chased. He throws close to the first down marker. But Andre Dury is wrapped up. A great defensive play made by Hamilton's Brandon Isaac again. And that will stop him short of a Toronto first down by 2 yards. Isaac's having himself a night.
Well, he sure is playing inspired football tonight, and part of the battle for Brandon Isaac. He's had some games where he's platooned, he's rotated at that Sam linebacker spot, predominantly with Rico Murray. Murray's playing full-time the boundary corner spot this week. Isaac playing every snap at Sam linebacker and having an impact.
Now a 42-yard field goal try by Swayze Waters. Trevor Harris with the hold. And Waters puts it through, and the Argos chip away some more. Now down by 4 with 10:55 to go in the fourth quarter on Wendy's Friday Night Football. The CFL on TSN is brought to you by GMC Sierra. We are professional grade. And to open this series in the fourth quarter, Dan Lefebvre comes on with the Ticats starting at their own 35-yard line. Burris buckled up and ready to go on the sidelines. We've seen this over the last several weeks. This is not Burris being pulled. This is just a different look for the Ticats. Give on the end around to Banks, and Banks got spun around by McEwen after a gain of a couple.
It can sometimes become a little bit predictable when you've got a guy like Brandon Banks who plays a limited number of offensive plays, that when he's in there on offense, instinctively as a defense, you believe the play's drawn up for him. There you take a look at some of the Henry Burris highlights in this pack. Lots of great plays. The only flaw, all of these plays came in the first half of the football game. The challenge for the Hamilton Tiger Cats against a good team, we've seen them in position to win against good teams already this year. Finishing, they've got to find a way to finish.
Burris fires, Fantu's the catch, and he's dragged down immediately by Ricardo Coakley. They'll mark him down just short of a Hamilton first down. Burris 14 for 25, 203 yards tonight, a touchdown and an interception. Make it 210 now with a 7-yard gain.
The key for Henry Burris and the rest of this Hamilton team is how they respond to adversity, not just how they bounce back from a loss. We saw them respond well in the start of this football game, but within a game. This is a football game in which they were very good in the first half.
Now decision time for Austin, assuming they're about a yard short, which they are. And that's a full yard. So what will Austin do? He sends on Lefebvre, the short yardage offense.
Well, not a surprise given that he gambled in more precarious field position in the third quarter.
Two coaches at the opposite ends of the spectrum in terms of aggression. Milanovic much more conservative when it comes to gambling, kicking field goals instead of going for it. Austin much more aggressive. Third and a yard for the Ticats at their own 44-yard line. Gonna get him to jump. The flag comes down and Lefebvre dives ahead. It'd be close to a Hamilton first down, but it looked like the Argos did move. Nine and a half to go in the fourth quarter.
It appeared like he used his cadence well there.
Toronto, 5-yard penalty. First down.
First down, Hamilton.
A little bit of motion and some inflection in Dan Lefebvre's voice. If you watch right in the middle of that defense, they get that Argo D-line leaning. Ken Austin just helping out the officials.
They know.
Just giving them a calm reminder.
Really? First down, Ticats now at the Hamilton 49. The drive continues. And Burris throws to Andrea Jones, kneels and makes the catch and dives down to the Toronto 52-yard line for a gain of 8.
Ticats into Argo territory with that completion. Andrea Jones working back to the football to help out his quarterback.
Already up 4. Early movement again. And flags are down again as Gable got wrapped up on the play. But it appeared as though the Argos jumped again as the stop was made by Shane Horton.
offside. Toronto number 6, 5-yard penalty. First down.
Yeah, Marcus Ball's trying to time up his blitz to the motion of the Tiger Cat receivers.
And the Ticats nudging themselves into field goal range.
Yeah, Tiger Cat receivers trying to use their motion a little bit here to pull that defense forward.
Now Burris swings that back for Banks, looking for the corner. Got forced and pushed out of bounds at the 51-yard line. That'll be a loss of about 3 on the play for Hamilton.
I would have the same response to that play as to the sweep to Brandon Banks earlier in the possession. You bring a guy like that into the football game, number of snaps he's played on offense in this ball game, you can count on one hand. The defense is going to be key.
So now 2nd and long for the Ticats from their own 52. Burris, lots of time, throws up the field, wide open. Bakari Grant. Grant inside the 20, down to the 14-yard line. And a pickup of 38 yards. A Hamilton first down. What a strike to Grant.
Yeah, beautiful touch there by Henry Burris. You heard Paul LaPolice talk a little bit about a similar play in the first half during the panel discussion at halftime. Feels that the depth of those linebackers just drops it over top of Marcus Ball. As Bakari Grant wraps it in behind. There you see Ball right on the orange signage. Grant gets in behind him into a soft spot in that defense. Nice touch from Henry Burris on the play.
First down, Ticats with Toronto 15. Burris looking to the end zone, now getting flushed out of the pocket by Brown. Burris throws to the end zone. Grant, touchdown! Bakari Grant with the score, and the Ticats extend their lead on a huge drive at a key time in the football game. 8 plays, 75 yards, and it ends with a Bakari Grant touchdown.
Second touchdown of the season for Grant, and a great sign for the Hamilton Tiger Cats responding to adversity in the second half of this ball game. 8 plays, 75 yards, as you said, and ate up over 4 minutes on the clock with that one, Gord.
And Grant wide open in behind Ricardo Coakley. The flag down before the ball was snapped for the point after. And now referee Andre Proulx being called over to the timekeeper's bench.
Tell me the time.
There's a time issue. The clock right now showing 6:42.
Bakari Grant, outside receiver. Just a balanced formation for the Ticats. Uses that body leverage. He's going inside. He knows Burris is on the scramble. So he's got to mirror his quarterback moving towards the sidelines. Finds himself wide open in the end zone for the major.
That was the out, in, and up. And out again. So Bakari Grant with his second touchdown reception of the year. A big one for the Ticats.
Timer, please reset the clock to read 6 minutes and 50 seconds.
So the point after can make it an 11-point Hamilton lead with 6:42 to go in the fourth quarter. Dave Stella giving Grant the business for his shout out. Got to work on it. He's only scored twice this year. And Lothar puts the point after up and good. Hamilton drives the ball down the field impressively, and Henry Burris finds Bakari Grant for a huge touchdown on Wendy's Friday Night Football.
Don't forget, game number 2 of our Friday Night Football doubleheader has Geroy Simon returning to Vancouver with the Saskatchewan Roughriders trying to snap a 4-game losing streak. They're taking on the Lions right after they're done in Toronto. Gord?
Yes, sir. The race is on for the first place in the West Division, and Hamilton trying to make it a race here in the East First game of home and home between these two teams. They'll play Thanksgiving Monday in Guelph. Brent Guy takes the kick off at his own 20-yard line. Flags are down. That's Curtis Steele on the return, and Steele gets up to the 50. But there's a flag down at the Toronto 33-yard line. It is a return of 38 yards pending the penalty. And it appears as though it's coming back.
Yeah, seemed to be little doubt from the Toronto sideline as soon as the offense came on the field. They headed back into their own territory.
During the return, holding Toronto number 91, 10-yard penalty, first down.
David Lee called for the hold. And so the Argos will scrimmage at their own 23-yard line, 6:24 to go in the fourth quarter.
David Lee is right on the edge of that wall. You see him on the back of his man, wraps him up. Easy call for the official.
Now Calero swings it out for Owens, looking for some blocks. Chad Owens slips as he crosses the 30-yard line, and that'll be a gain of 8. So Chad Owens back in the lineup and missing 4 games for Toronto with injured ribs, and talked about the difficulty of a rib injury, breathing, turning, sleeping, all made more difficult.
Yeah, that all the muscles in the midsection connecting upper body to lower body, any sort of explosive movement as a football player, any kind of contact, you're going to feel it.
Second and short, and Calero's trying to run straight ahead. Norwood wraps him up. And a huge play by Eric Norwood. They'll spot it as no gain. It's 3rd and 2 Toronto, and the punting unit has to come on. The first 2 and out for Toronto in the second half of the football game.
Well, Eric Norwood's been quiet for much of the game. He comes up with a big play here. He's coming right off that left defensive end spot. Eric Norwood, a guy who's really emerged for this Hamilton Tiger Cat team. You haven't seen big numbers in terms of his pass rush, but leads all Canadian Football League defensive linemen in tackles.
And the punt taken by Banks, and he'll go out of bounds at the Hamilton 40-yard line. Catch the season premiere of Arrow and the new series The Tomorrow People, sharing the night to save the day. It all starts Wednesday at 7 on CTV. So the Ticat defense forces a key 2 and out after Henry Burris directed that scoring drive. And the Ticats are up by 11 with 5 to go in the fourth quarter.
They ate up just over 4 minutes with their last scoring drive. Important for them to keep an eye on the clock here. Keep that thing ticking at this stage.
Flags again, as it looked like that time Jermaine Gabriel jumped. And on the other side, Luke Tasker makes the catch. The Argonauts playing their first home game in a month after winning 4 straight on the road.
Offside. Toronto number 5, 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
It was Gabriel, so 1st and 5 for the Ticats. And the clock will continue to run.
The rookie safety, Jermaine Gabriel, playing more and more snaps every week. That time got caught trying to time up his blitz.
Burris under pressure, gets away and throws. The pass is incomplete for Andy Fantus. This has been a much better week, obviously, for Henry Burris than it was last. It began with the opening possession when the Ticats drove the ball down the field and scored. They dominated the first half, and they've outplayed the Argos for much of the second half as well.
So rebounding that last offensive possession for the Tiger Cats scored was absolutely huge. A team that we've seen in past weeks, as we said, against good football teams, when they get a little bit of pushback, the Tiger Cats haven't necessarily responded well.
2nd and 5 for the Ticat 45-yard line. Argos show blitz. Here it comes. And the give goes to Gable. And Gable leans into Robert McCune, picks up 6 yards and a Hamilton first down.
And a good play call, taking advantage of the anticipated blitz on the play with all the defense pinning their ears back coming forward. It's not draw timing, it's just regular run play timing, but same effect as a draw play where Gable's hitting it going the opposite way of the attacking defenders.
So the Ticats looking to continue this one step forward, one step back routine for the 7th consecutive week. It's been win-loss, 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 and tonight, right now, up by 11. flags are down.
It looked like it might have been the left side of the Ticats offensive line that time.
Legal procedure. Hamilton number 63. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
That's the left tackle, Mark Dial, called on the play. Dial has bounced around side to side in those tackle spots. First on the right, filling in for Joel Figueroa. Now moving to the left with Brian Simmons injured.
Toronto has indicated it wants a timeout, but perhaps not.
We're trying to wait for that 3-minute warning at this point. Little shout out for the big boys up front on that Hamilton offensive line. Both Pete Diakowski and Tim O'Neill playing their 100th CFL game here tonight.
You saw Henry Burris giving them a pat the back after that scoring drive the last time down the field. So now first down for the Ticats from their own 46-yard line. Here comes the blitz again. Burris under pressure, fires. Fantus has it. Bounces off a tackle and gets out to the Hamilton 51. Gain of 5. The clock continues to run as we approach the 3-minute warning in the fourth quarter.
Andy Fantus hasn't found a lot of open space here. Today I'm going to give round 1 of what we'll call a 2-round battle with the back-to-back games, the home and home. Thus far, I think round 1 goes to Pat Watkins.
2:45 to go in the fourth. Now Burris looking for 10, room to run. Henry Burris needs the 50. He's got it more down to the 45-yard line. Henry Burris moves the sticks for Hamilton with a 16-yard run and a Ticat first down as we reach the 3-minute warning. Last week he got pulled against the Calgary Stampeders after throwing 3 interceptions, but Henry Burris has been solid tonight. And the Ticats keep the football with an 11-point lead in Toronto. Wendy's Friday Night Football is brought to you by Late Night. Participating Wendy's open until midnight or later. Now that's better. So a 16-yard scamper by Henry Burris gives the Ticats a first down at the Toronto 42-yard line. But more importantly, the Ticats have the football and the clock running. Once again, the Ticats bounce back from a disappointing loss with an impressive performance. Argo show blitz again. The give goes to Gable. Slices through the defensive backfield inside the 30 and down to the 28. The Ticats have slim hopes of catching Toronto for first, but this game nonetheless very important for Hamilton.
They're ahead of us right now. We need to gain some type of momentum against them, because if we plan on seeing these guys again, you know, these 2 games are going to be huge, starting with this one. Because in order to know you can beat a team, you have to go out and just beat them. And that comes from executing on each and every given play. And if you don't do that, these guys will find a way to beat you.
Ticats come into the game 6 points behind the Argos for first place in the East Division. And here's Gable with the carry again. And a flag comes down at the end of that play. That's holding against Hamilton. With 1:48 to go, a gain of 2.
Henry Burris talking about simply making a statement, looking ahead to the possible meeting.
Holding. Hamilton number 55. 10-yard penalty. Remains first down.
Sense of confidence that comes from having defeated a team, or maybe even gaining some dominance against a team. Obviously, Tiger Cats feel like they could have won in week 1 against the Toronto Argonauts. Basically came down to a couple plays at the end. But they'd love to sweep this home and home. Plant a little seed in the Argos' mind before the playoffs.
Back to the ground, and Gable gets back to the original line of scrimmage down to the 29-yard line. And more importantly, stays in bounds. And the Ticats, as much as anything, have just eaten up the clock here in the fourth quarter. And Toronto calls its last timeout.
Well, that's significant, Gord, for a team that hasn't always run the football consistently this season.
And for the Argos once too often to the well.
Yeah, relying on the late comeback, the slow start, late comeback. Again, it's not a formula that can last forever. Especially when Hamilton's keeping the ball out of the guy who's been pulling most of those late heroics, Zach Collaros.
Second down. Argos show blitz again. Gable gets close to first down yardage down to the 20-yard line. A gain of 9. He'll be about 2 yards short. And so with 1:39 to go, Hamilton can try a field goal for a 14-point lead.
The Tiger Cats did a nice job on that possession as Toronto was trying to get what they anticipated or what they viewed as pass situations and trying to run blitzes. Tiger Cats kept chipping away yards. Again, taking advantage of that momentum, letting defenders overrun plays as they're trying to get to the quarterback. Meanwhile, Gable's running the other way, almost like a draw.
Lothar missed on his only attempt earlier from 42 yards out. This try from the 29. A low snap, and Lothar gets it away. It's good. And a big 3 for the Ticats, now up 14 with 1 minute and 16 seconds to go in the fourth quarter. Well, TSN is your home for Barclays Premier League with up to 5 matches each week on TSN, TSN2, and TSN.ca. This weekend, Manchester City takes on Everton. Live coverage on the way tomorrow at 7, 8 a.m. Eastern, 4 a.m. Pacific on TSN2. Check TSN.ca for the full weekend schedule. City put one on United a couple weeks ago, 4-1.
You a big soccer fan?
Love it. Love it. Love all kinds of football, my friend. From the 35-yard line, Collaros throws over to Chad Owens. A flag is down. It's into Hamilton territory at the 48-yard line. That last Hamilton drive, by the way, took 3 minutes and 54 seconds off the clock.
Offside. Hamilton number 23.
So combine the 2 drives by the Ticats, that's 8 minutes. They chewed up in the final 10 of the fourth quarter.
And the 10 points on those 2 drives, a bonus.
Now Collaros stands in, one hops it to Owens. So it'll get intriguing next week when they meet in the rematch in Guelph. And by the way, the Ticats announced this week that if they do play host to a playoff game, that it will be in Guelph. There was some talk they might move it here or play somewhere else. It will be in Guelph. Only a couple of games remaining there, and the next year in the new stadium in Hamilton.
Have you been online for a look?
I have. Looks good.
You've picked out your seats?
I got the same seat every game. Collaros under pressure, and he is dropped. Brandon Boudreau's had a strong night for the Ticats, and he throws Collaros down for a massive loss.
Well, Brandon Boudreau and his return to health could be key for this Tiger Cat team down the stretch. The bottom of the CFL in sacks. This is the guy who leads them in sacks. Got away with a little bit of a grab on the face mask there, Collaros.
That was a loss of 12. And now the Argos on 3rd and 25. Keep the offense on the field. Collaros slings it for Watt, and the pass almost intercepted by Davis. And the Toronto Argonauts will turn it over on downs.
Well, another guy who's had a strong night defensively for the Hamilton Tiger Cats, Emmanuel Davis, in on a number of pass breakups in the secondary.
So our TSN decision desk is going to call this for Toronto. And the Ticats will be 4 points down. Of note, with the teams playing again next week, the winner of that game will win the season series. Hamilton's got home to Toronto, home and home with Montreal, then closes out against Winnipeg. Argos at Hamilton next week, at Winnipeg, then home to Winnipeg and close out against Montreal.
Yeah, after this week, it's all divisional matchups. So teams essentially having their playoff fates in their own hands from here on in.
And Henry Burris stays in for victory formation. And a badly needed one it was. He was very forthright this week about his performance. and what he wanted to do. And Ken Austin said we needed a game of good decisions, and they got it tonight from their quarterback and a whole bunch of others.
But the lingering question for this Hamilton team, can they do it 2 games in a row?
And yes, there are many Hamilton fans here making their voices heard. But 29,000 here tonight. And they see the Ticats avenge an earlier season loss to Toronto and keep their hopes alive for first place in the East Division. Final score, Hamilton 33, Toronto 19. For Dwayne Ford, Matthew Chinetti, and all of us at TSN, I'm Gord Miller. So long from Toronto.